Hey, Phoenix Stevens here with Kentucky Sports Radio. Of course, whenever you see my face here on the KSR YouTube channel, you're probably used to thinking, okay, he's going to talk about Kentucky women's basketball. You know, what's Kenny Brooks up to this offseason? But today, things are a little bit different. As you all know, flooding in the state of Kentucky has been a long-lasting issue. You've seen it out in the eastern part of the state where, homes, livelihoods have been just completely ruined and altered. But that has unfortunately hit the western part of the state too. Today we're here to talk about some of the flooding and its impact that it's had out in western Kentucky, and specifically out in McLean County, Kentucky, which happens to be my home. The Green River, which runs through right in the middle of McLean County, reached a peak of 35.75 feet, which is the fourth highest crest on record and the highest in 75 years since 1950. For reference, the Green River reaches flood status when it crests at 23 feet. So I packed my bags, left Lexington, arrived in McLean County, and I spoke to numerous folks around the situation. And perhaps there's no one who's been more in the middle of it all than Judge Executive Curtis Dame.
So I've personally been through two historic floods, 1997 and 2011. But the flood that we'll refer to back as the flood of 2025 years from now has been in a category all of its own. A category that we haven't seen since 1950, approximately 75 years ago. And it put about 49% of the county underwater. But until you go through it, there's really no way to describe it. And each flood and high water event is totally different. And that's because rain never falls the same way twice.
Several hundred people have been displaced by the flooding, and just as many properties have been destroyed. According to Dame, it's at least 300 houses that have been directly damaged by the flooding in McLean County.
That's the big hurdle for me as seeing the impact, is that the amount of personal property damage. We've estimated as low as 200 residences and as high as 400. That number will be accurate once the individual review teams have done their work.
A lot of those folks are in shelters that are being operated by Red Cross. There's been as high as 90 people at the shelters at any given time, and as low as 30. A number of things have been organized to help out in this time of need. For example, the McLean County Chamber of Commerce has used an old empty grocery store building to collect items and donations for people. If you'd like to consider donating some of those items in need, Chamber of Commerce President Sharon Walker told KSR what is needed at this moment in time.
Right now, we need the push brooms. We need squeegees. We need to see if we can get more shovels, rakes. We need to have the dish detergent, laundry detergent, diapers. You've got we've got several families that have several children and different size diapers, and we don't have a lot of diapers available to us at this time.
Of course, in a time like this, safety is at the forefront when it comes to priorities. However, a return to normalcy, as you could put it, is also something that's being discussed. Kids haven't even been to school since late March.
It was before spring break, so it was the last week of March. Yeah, we haven't been in school at all in April. I think we were in school 7 days in February.
McLean County Public Schools Superintendent Tommy Burrow has been the head man as far as decision-making goes during this whole process. The flooding that McLean County is experiencing is something like we've never seen before. It's been a trying time for Burrow, to say the least.
Well, everybody talked about the 1997 flood. It was number 4 all time, but it was number 1 post locking dams. And I was here then. I was a teacher here and head baseball coach here back in '97. So I remember that one, but this was 1.5 feet higher. This was a little different category of flood. I saw things that I thought I would never see.
Kids not being able to go to school, athletics have been halted as well. Surrounding counties and schools have offered to host baseball, softball, and track so that McLean County can resume back to playing sports, but even then, Burrow has remained hesitant to get sports going again due to some of the effects of the flooding.
My main thing, we had so many roads underwater. I can't get a bus on the road till I know those roads are safe. It's the safety of all kids. I mean, I feel for athletics. I was a coach for many years, and I'm trying to get him back as fast as possible.
Burrow has heard and seen of some things firsthand that speak to just how serious the flooding situation really is.
Houses that are underwater. I have an employee right here in my office that their house got 18 inches of water and it looks like a mudslide inside. I remember KU or Kenergy, one of the electricals, we had total darkness one night. I think it happened about 10:30 at night and didn't come back on. Power didn't come back on to about 2. They were having to use boats for electrical workers to work on the power.
The flooding has directly impacted the baseball, softball, and track seasons. However, it's also time for spring ball for the football program, and head coach Zach Wagner spoke to KSR about what it's been like to to have that put to an abrupt pause.
I think our program's been established long enough. I've stayed in contact with our guys. Fingers crossed, but hope they're lifting and working and doing things as far as football goes and strength and conditioning. Our biggest thing was calling and checking on our guys and making sure if they needed help moving out, if they needed anything with the flood, if they needed food or anything, that we wanted to get that to them. That was first priority.
Fortunately for the football program, they have a whole summer to get through before it's time for action. But the same can't be said regarding spring sports. McLean County AD Justin Cook spoke to what it's been like for him to experience the flooding in his role.
I've lived here my whole life, so I've experienced numerous floods, but being in this position, it's been difficult, seeing our spring sports, baseball, softball, track, having to see them not to get to experience a full season. While we've only had to lose a few games, it's still been difficult just trying to navigate it.
Most teams, as you'd probably expect, already have their schedules filled out, so trying to reschedule games and meets is a tall task this late in the year. There's a lot of complicated and intricate work going on behind the scenes as McLean County hopes to resume sports soon.
It's easy to cancel games, and that a lot of people don't see that. The games we lost, yes, it was tough on our kids, tough on parents, community. Canceling those games was easy from the standpoint of, hey, we can't come and play today. Well, now that we're kind of getting back into it, now the difficult part kind of really gets started. Trying to get some of these games back.
He also noted the significant amounts of damage that have happened to the baseball and softball fields. While the water has receded some, the effects remain immense.
Baseball, a little more than softball. Baseball up until a couple days ago maybe was underwater for almost 12 days is what we kind of figured out. Once it kind of really started getting onto the field, it was underwater for 12 days. So the grass obviously is dead. And now you're talking about the field, not necessarily the dirt, but just the grass itself is basically like walking in a river, how the second you put your foot in a river, you kind of just start to sink. Well, even though the water's off of it and we've had sun for a few days, the ground below it is just, it's mud. And if you tried to play in a baseball game out there right now, the poor left fielder wouldn't have a chance to do anything because you just can't get any footing. You just sink in the ground.
Head baseball coach Darren Lynham declined to comment regarding the flooding's impact on his program, but head softball coach Riley Bobo talked with KSR about what this experience has been like for the Lady Cougars.
It has kind of sucked a little bit, knowing how much the girls have put in off season, in season, it sucks because the girls aren't able to do anything, and they're seeing everybody else being able to play, and they're not. But at least we're still here and we're getting in the right path of being able to move forward.
And when you think about the seniors that are on the team situation, this sucks all the more.
I think some of them are seeing that it's their last season, especially our seniors. I keep trying to tell them, stay on the positive side. At least we're getting to play, unlike the 2020 seniors who didn't get to play their full a season at all, get to play a game. We are playing, we are moving forward. We just had to postpone a few things for a couple weeks.
Seth Lancaster, who helps coach the track and field team at McLean County, also spoke to what his program is going through due to the flooding.
It's been difficult because we took the week off of spring break And then, that's when the storms came and everything. So we kind of had the expectation that we were going to have the week off, and then that turned into 2. Now it's turning into 3. Now, luckily we're going to get back to some non-mandatory practice today, but, we've only got to have 1 meet. So we've had to cancel 3 meets already. And this is kind of the heart of track season. It has been frustrating just to not be able to be together.
You can donate to the McLean County Chamber of Commerce's Relief Fund using the link in the description or the QR code that should be right here. If you contribute via check, make the check payable to McLean County Chamber with flood relief as the memo. Hey guys, thank you for watching the video. I encourage you, please donate anything if you can. Obviously, I understand money's tight for all of us right now. Obviously, here in Kentucky, everything, you never know how things are going to go. But regardless, thank you all so much. Please subscribe to the KSR YouTube channel, like, comment, subscribe, do all of those wonderful things. But until next time,